Well, hello there. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Shield Wardens. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is going to be episode 27. If you're catching this, for some reason, it's no longer 26 is no longer on our Twitch feed, so there will be a gap in the backlogs of these for some reason. Not sure what happened, but either way, let me tell you what happened. The players were in Loros. They had encountered this town in the middle of the mists on the island of Hellat, where they are kind of sent to infiltrate and get some information, maybe make contact with one of the High Priestess's agents in the city of Kylinium. A Furbolg, they're sent to kind of make contact, but they are going in cautiously. They landed their new ship, or hovered their new ship in the middle of the mist, leaving the fog cloud defense kind of system out, hoping that no one discovers it. And they made their passage on foot, discovered this town. While there, they had room and board, and they were awoken and informed that there was a group of people coming through, kind of doing sweeps through the city, looking for people who didn't have the appropriate papers for this island. And they were encouraged to run. However, the party decided that they were going to come back and they were going to defend the innkeeper, as they had spied on the group and discovered that the soldiers of the Hydra Lodge had discovered that there were people escaping out the back. And instead of letting the innkeeper and their family take the fall, they stood and fought. Took quite a bit of a beating, but were able to succeed to take out these three members, of which then Hendrix and Pios took off to the forest to dispose of, to make it look like they were mauled by some savage beasts. Then Randall bribed the town by dropping off the gold that they found from these people and some of the gold that they had to forget about the events that happened here, and that it would be better for everyone if they were never there, and if these soldiers were never there. The only other kind of thing that's left up there in waiting to see what happens is a Carpenter was encountered by Hendrix, and he kind of befriended him, and they kind of arranged for them to travel with him, at least for a little ways. He was going closer to the city Kylinium. They figured that having a cart and wagon and cover story would probably help them out as they made their way closer. So we will rejoin the party with, I believe, Hendrix and Pios returning from their job out in the forest. Here's the party. How are we doing? Where are we at?
Good. So I guess we just roll back into town, meet these back at the tavern area. If we still want to leave in the morning, we probably better get as much rest as we can. It's only going to be a few hours until the Carpenter's probably going to leave at first light.
Indeed.
I see people are already asleep. I say we'll rest until the Carpenter on first light.
No, Daddy, it's my turn to ride the donkey.
As you two return to this room that you guys had, you see, Lucius and Randall trying to catch as much sleep as they can before the morning, being the ones a little bit more resource intensive in your party. You see the gear laid out. Both of you have stupid passive perceptions, if I remember correctly. And you'll notice that there's a bit of the stuff that you guys had recovered. There's the collar from the dwarf. I'm assuming you guys kept that. There is some of the other just random gear. However, notably not there happens to be the warhammer that the dwarf had been carrying.
I'll take a quick scan of my sleeping companions. Do they have it on them?
No, you don't see it on any of them.
Okay. Well, I don't want to wake them now, but I'll definitely mention it. I'll ask Pius if he knows it, if he's still awake.
I have not seen it since last time he hit me with it.
Keep an eye out for it.
Let's
get some rest.
Someone stole it?
I don't know yet.
Very well then.
And I'll lock the door if it does.
Yeah. I mean, it's a typical kind of tavern room, so it's got a latch on the inside, some keys on the outside.
Yeah, I bandage myself up as best as possible, then fall asleep.
All right. It's just a few hours before you kind of start to notice that the dawn's starting to come in, that the sound of the streets coming back to life, and downstairs in the inn, some sense of whatever they cook in the morning for breakfast here is kind of wafting up throughout this tavern. And you guys are able to wake up as this goes, or decide to stay and sleep if that's what you decide to do.
I guess I'll wake for my little rest and just start waking up the rest of them, saying, come on, guys, let's get our stuff. I think it's about time we start to leave this town, this village.
And I think Lucius will look out the window just to see if he sees any of those Hydra people.
Yeah. Looking out, the town seems to be calm, normal. There's people going about their ways, all kind of acting as if nothing had happened the night before. You don't spot anyone with a Hydra symbol on any of their armor or shields. You see a couple of the town guard kind of doing like the morning patrol, just making sure there's nothing untoward happening, or no, drunks from the night before that are laying about in the streets somewhere. It's not a huge town, so most everyone is kind of familiar with each other.
Okay, so I think Lucius is gonna change the color of his cape to be like a dark brown, and then he's gonna go talk to the innkeeper real quick.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
While that's happening, I'll go outside and see if I can find the carpenter.
Okay, yeah, he had mentioned that he was gonna have his cart and he'd meet you near the gates. But if you wanted to catch him before, you can definitely give me a perception check if you want, and we can go from there.
28.
Oh, yeah. You're able to kind of get out on the streets and look around a little bit. It's, like I said, it's not a huge town. It's more like one of those waypoint villages along this road. You do spot the carpenter kind of over by a workshop. It's kind of like with a large cart. It's a wagon. It's a decent sized wagon, about 10 feet long. There's a couple of older, well-conditioned, but not like young prime horses attached to it. One is kind of like a dark brown, and the other one has that kind of like yellowish fur, that like lighter tan / yellow horse hair look. Okay. You can tell I'm an equestrian person. But he's like, they're loading these long bits of logs or like already cut boards onto his cart there as you're glancing. He doesn't necessarily spot you as you come around. He's pretty hard at work pulling out of this like warehouse lumber mill sort of thing and loading them onto the cart.
Yeah, I'll send Daisy out, and Daisy will just go land on top of the cart, and I'll wait outside the front for the rest of the people.
Okay.
I'm going through my morning affirmations as I'm getting ready on the day, heading out from the room, realizing that everyone else is getting ready to go. I'm just going to stand at the horse post outside the tavern. So I'm looking out onto the entire village, the one street of this village, just noting lights that are on or very much definitely off. Everyone is fast asleep over here. Those kind of vibes I'm trying to get from a road. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're getting, at the moment, you would get kind of beginning of life in a small town. There are a few shopkeepers that are currently like sweeping off the porches. You can see smoke drifting up from various of the buildings as their fires are kind of kindled, getting ready to cook the morning meals, and places like the blacksmith that will be warming up their forges, getting ready for doing their work for the rest of the day. That sort of thing. It's not full-fledged hustle and bustle of later in the day as people go about running their errands and doing their work, but you can tell that there's life starting to kind of sprout in the morning. The
early doors people are doing the early doors thing, and as they're doing their thing, are they engaging me in eye contact at all?
I think you probably get more people that are, the few that you see walking around are more actively and obviously not engaging you in eye contact. Like they're kind of like, oh, we don't see that one there, sort of thing, as they take that as part of the implied bargain you guys have made.
Is there a local store near that I can see within, like, within walking distance?
Oh yeah, I mean, all the stores are pretty close. There's like a general store that would definitely see. There's currently a like human, older female, kind of graying black hair, tied back in a bun, in a fairly simple like dark blue dress with like a leather apron on over it. She's got a broom and she's kind of sweeping away at the front step. The door to the shop held open at the moment.
Morning.
Morning, dear.
Wondering if you have any blackroot.
Blackroot. Well, yeah, actually, I mean, I don't have any myself, but I do know a farmer that gets it, and he lives nearby. I could tell you where he is.
No, I was just an impulse. If you were available, I would like to have had some, but if you don't have any, and don't worry about it, it's fine.
Yes, I mean, it's not entirely fully frowned upon, but it's not fully encouraged either. So it tends to be one of those things that we just kind of use or don't use. You have to kind of know the right people, you know?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm assuming in this one-horse podunk town, I'm not going to see any sign of the smiling ones.
You haven't spotted it so far.
But again, I know that there's a contact that Theodosia wants us to get with down in the city centre. So we're heading that way. It makes sense. I thank her for her time, and I head to the cart.
Lucius, you are going to speak right to the bartender. Yeah. So you'll see down there, there's that circular fire pit in the middle of the tavern itself. You'll see the kind of lavender-skinned tiefling there. He's got like a white shirt with the sleeves all rolled up. He's wearing kind of like travel leather pants that look fairly well worn. He's got going right now over this circular pit. He's got like a pot. Looks like he's got like scrambled eggs going there. He's got another one. He's like sizzling up some sort of sausage. He looks over as he hears your footfalls coming. Well, if it isn't our protectors, how are we doing?
So far, pretty good. We actually got a good night of sleep, especially considering what happened the day before.
It's a hectic night for sure.
Did anybody bother you today, or?
No. I mean, I didn't get much sleep myself. I was doing a lot of the cleaning up, but other than that, no, nothing. No one's coming in yet for the morning. A couple of your friends went out earlier, out in the street.
Good. I had a quick question. Do you happen to have any, like, clothing that somebody has left, like something regular that people wear around here that I could have, so that way I don't look out of sort?
Oh, well, I mean, I've got a few spare sets if you want. I could get you some. Sure.
I would appreciate that. And if anything, like when he comes back, I'll leave like a gold coin down for him.
He's asked if you just can you just watch the food really quick. It won't take me long. I'll run to my spot and grab you something.
Sure, I'll do that.
And then he like hustles out. I forget whether I made multiple levels. Well, I did, but I forget whether his room was up top. I think it is. He hustles up to his room and then kind of like comes back, and he's got like similar to what he's wearing now, just like travel leathers. He's got like sturdy leather pants, well worn. He's got a similar white loose fitting shirt and like a leather like jacket sort of thing, like a travel jacket for going out and doing work and stuff outside in the woods, sort of thing. It's kind of like laced together more than like well manufactured and sewn up tight sort of thing. Here you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I figure it'd be better to blend in.
Probably not a bad idea. Watch out on the roads if they get word at all. I don't know how they would, but if they get word, you gotta worry about that.
Well, before we go, is anything you need, or are you all set here?
Oh, I mean, I think we'll make do to figure it out. I think either way, I might be prepping for a move on if I have to. Get ready for it.
Well, with the way things are going around, I don't blame you. And he's gonna grab the clothing and go back to the room and change.
I think Pius would have did the whole weird power nap for like hour and a half, 2 hours, and got up before everybody else. And he was a little bit disturbed from what Hendrix said about the Warhammer. So I think Pius would have been the whole time searching for the Warhammer.
All right.
With Phoebus's help, even.
Okay. If you would like to make an investigation check with advantage, since you have Phoebus sniffing around and kind of rummaging around.
Yeah. 18?
Okay. 18's pretty good. It takes you a long time. You're looking around and you don't really see a lot of evidence. But Phoebus does kind of like move and start sniffing at one of the windows. And you can see, looking very carefully, very closely, you see like these kind of tiny claw marks on the window. Well, like the wood of the window, like around where someone would grip and open the window.
Oh, okay. Not animal like.
Well, I mean, it's hard to tell exactly. It's there are like these tiny little scrape marks, like something with claws had scratched that area. But to the best of your knowledge, it would seem that would be like if you were to grab it and accidentally scrape your nails against the wood or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not like normal size. It's not even your size. It's like the positioning of it would be for a much smaller creature.
Oh, much smaller, not bigger. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't see any tracks or anything of that nature or any telltale signs of where that creature went. Do I?
I mean, looking out, you're on a second-story window. You don't really see any sign of where it would have gone if and when that window was open and then reshut.
I mean, opening the window and looking about, like landscape on the walls and whatnot. Does it look like it was flying, or does it look like it scaled the wall and then tried to get in that way?
I mean, it's hard to ascertain exactly how it got to the window or out of the window, but you don't see any similar claw marks on the wall. There's no obvious handholds or like positioning that they could transfer from that window.
The shrubbery wasn't disturbed.
Shrubbery.
So, okay. So I'll make a note of it.
Yeah.
And and then just do a generalized, I guess, surveillance of the town, the village, just kind of overall, just making sure these people are okay and nothing unusual is going to happen. And then eventually when I start to see everybody gather at the wagon and stuff like that, I just sneak up on them.
Okay.
If you'd like me to roll, I can.
No, I mean, that's 26. Up to other people if they really want it. Okay, fair enough. I'm sure you definitely sneak up on the rest of the group as they are, I'm assuming, mustering together to meet up with this Carpenter.
As I do.
I think Lucius would double take, like, was he there the whole time? Kind of short, so I don't know.
I thought you'd rock up onto the cart and you'd already see Hendrix laying on top of it, on top of a pile of wood, waiting for the rest of you to turn up.
Randy is actually by the front wheel, sat down in the mud, just waiting for other people to come along.
So, Hendrix.
Yeah, I was going to try and get a couple Z's, but what's up?
The Warhammer that disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to track it down, but I was unable to find its location. However, something curious that I did find, little claw mark hands open a window upstairs, and it appeared that like a little creature with almost like Daisy, but not quite, like hand wise.
So 3, a talon, or 4.
Was it 4 or 5? Probably 4, right?
Like, I'm thinking if it's flying, it's going to be like 3.
The strange man with the smiley face on his head and on his chest hasn't told me yet.
Damn, I was muted. It does not show me. Let's see.
I mean, I know what it is, but Pius doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you would see 4 claw marks.
Okay.
4. Okay.
That's such a Dungeons and Dragons flex. I know what it is, but my character doesn't.
I mean, there's enough hints there.
I mean, he's only got a +1 to Arcana, so
Okay. Where were these claw marks?
They were inside the window, right? Not inside the window, but they were inside the tavern, not outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they were inside, as if the creature was always inside with us.
But we never saw it.
We did not. So it must have some kind of stealth capabilities or invisibility.
Okay. I'll be right back.
It was tiny.
I'm going to quickly run over to the general store to the old woman and say, "Can I get from you 3 small bags of flour, please? 4 small bags of flour."
4. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I can do that. 7 silver should be enough. 1 second. Let me go grab it. And she
No problem.
scurries down one of the aisles and comes up with these, like, probably 1 pound bags each of flour.
I still have a ton of money here. Did I not dump my gold? I feel like I dumped 250 gold on these people, no?
You did dump 250 gold. Yeah.
So I should be down to 17 up on here. Okay, fine. I give the woman a gold piece and I say, "Sorry, I don't have anything smaller. I assume you don't have change, am I right?"
Oh, I can get you change. It's not a problem, love.
I can't believe you're falling for this con. Classic. Don't have change for you first thing in the morning. No, it's fine. It's whatever. Randy's
sure?
not a coffee man. And since he's not been an elf, he's not doing so well with the waking up process.
It's I can get you it. It's just inside.
Thanks. You take that silver, come back to the guys and give them each a small bag of flour and say, "Anyone who's invisible will be able to see them with this."
So,
It's flour. It's just flour, man. I mean,
you what, bro? In the
I'm not even mad at you. You've just been paying attention. That's fine. Whatever. So all you got to do...
There's a lot of crazy stuff in this world. This could have been anything. It could have been...
You're right. No, fair. But look, say Lucius here, is an invisible creature. What you do, when I take my flour, you just pour it near where you think he is. Boom! Look! And, like, Lucius is just covered in flour.
Oh, okay.
Again... So it's like this action, and like I've got like maybe 3/4 of a bag left, and I just chuck another quarter bag into Lucius's face. Okay, you got to pull back, you got to launch third one into Lucius's face. Okay? See, that's what you got to go like that. And I'm at Lucius. Can I borrow your bag? Come on, give it.
If you do it one more time, I'm gonna put you in the bag.
I'm out of flour, so I think what a happy coincidence that is.
Right, I'll pocket the flour and roll over and pull my hat over my eyes and see if I can get more few Z's.
Okay, I'm gonna pat down Lucius wherever possible just to get more flour clouding up from him.
Can you use your spell to like clean it up for me?
I could. Let me do that for you, mate. Are you gonna let me cast a spell on you? Which is conceivably, as far as you're concerned, it's gonna be prestidigitation, I'm assuming, like that, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to...
I'm gonna cast Gust all over him so that the flower surrounds him, and then I'm gonna use Mage Hand to nick something off of him.
Make your rolls, guys.
Person. What am I rolling as a perception?
Yeah, that would be a perception check.
I think you'll be all right. That's only a 17.
Meanwhile, the Carpenter's just standing
from all the flowers that I'm kicking up around him.
Apparently you don't need it. Yeah. What do you steal from him?
I genuinely don't care. Ideally, I would like something that's in a pouch and just take the pouch and whatever's inside that pouch.
You take the flour.
Let me see. You know what? I probably have a few potions, so maybe you grab my pouch that has the potions in it. I'll tell you in a little bit what it is.
Let me just take one potion off of you, man. I mean, it's all fun and games, but I feel like you need them more than I do.
You want a potion of mind reading, greater healing, or lightning resistance?
Oh, you don't give him the option of mind reading?
Yeah, true. Well, he was the one that gave me the...
I would go randomly. I'm gonna I'm gonna do a quick 1d6. What was the first one you said?
Mind reading.
Damn it! I'm a fucking telepath. All right, Ned, send it. Yoink. Add item. Potion of mind.
Meanwhile, the Carpenter's like standing there, like watching all this. And he's like, if I didn't, I mean, of course we didn't see anything last night, but if I didn't see something last night, I'd really wonder about you guys as guards.
We may go.
Yeah, we're ready if you guys are.
We're toxic, but only to each other, so it works out fine.
Good. And he climbs up onto the wagon and like kind of flicks the reins and starts the horses slowly out of town, heading west.
We're all in the back. The funny thing was, I was actually gonna give Hendrix and Pius like the 2 potions of healing, because last night they got their ass beat, so I could see Lucius giving them that. Could have swore I had another potion in here. Oh well.
So is it just regular healing?
Greater healing, yeah. It's gonna give one to each of you two.
And I'm going to be doing mending on Lucius's clothes so that the flower's gone.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm here for you, man. Don't want to be mean about it.
Greater healing.
How much time are we going to be on the road?
Well, it'll take us about half a day or so to get to the place I'm set to do some work, and if you continue on to Kylinium, probably another 2 hours or so from there by foot.
I don't suppose there's any way that we could convince you to drive into Kylinium.
Well, and as he's cleared the town, he kind of glances back, sees the guards back at the gate, a little wise back. Well, I was going to talk to you guys about that, actually. So you guys are heading into a large city, yes? I mean, I can certainly help you do that, but seeing as what may have happened last night, I have some friends near the city. I thought perhaps it might be good for you guys to maybe meet them before. They might be able to help you more getting in and out of places.
Are they familiar with the city, is what you're saying? Wait, hold on. Are these the kind of friends that are good at getting people in and out of places?
I mean, the kind of friends that are no love of the current rulership and the things that have been going on around here.
Can I inside him? Because I want to make sure it's not going to get us jumped.
Yeah, feel free.
Good looking up.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, he seems completely honest. Like,
I'll just look at Randall and I'll give him like a nod, like, sure, we should.
Okay. What's your name? Sorry.
I am, well, they call me Ash, at least in this group that you're going to meet.
Okay.
It's probably the best that's the one we use at this point now.
Fair enough, Ash. I know what it's like. The need for pseudonyms is not an issue. It's fine. Ash, I need to talk with my colleagues real quick. We're going to go up to the back of the wagon real quick. Don't take it personally. We just need to have a quiet, confidential moment. Is that all right?
Oh, no, it's fine. In fact, if you want, I can pull off for a moment and leave myself.
Oh, well, I feel like maybe you want to do that.
Just a bit, yes.
All right.
Good a time as any.
Breaking the seal this early might be a problem, but whatever. Enjoy.
For a second, I thought he meant something else, but really.
I was like, all right, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Can I? Oh, so Randall's gonna bring Lucius and Pius over to the resting form of Hendrix, and I'm going to whisper lowly to you guys. So listen, I need to tell you guys something. You know how you guys have always said that you're in a guild and your guild is the Badger or whatever, yeah? And I've always said I'm not in a guild, I'm not in a house.
Yes.
I kind of lied to you. Theodosia found me and asked me to join a group of individuals who have my kind of skill set, kind of people that hide in plain sight. They're called the Smiling Ones. I'm only mentioning it because we're going to be in a situation where we don't really know anyone or who we can trust. You remember when we were at the Hippogriff household, the Merocian estate, and the guards had caught us and that was us done, and then suddenly they're on our side? He was a Smiling One. So we recognize each other without having seen each other before. If you see someone wearing black and white interweaving, there's a better than good chance that they are a member of the Smiling Ones. Okay? Do you have questions?
Truthfully, I don't care where you, who you're, where you're from. You're one of us, so that's all that matters.
Thank you, Lucius. That actually means a lot, honestly. I love ribbing you. You know that. And it's been a minute since I've done that. But I'm really nervous about this town.
As in, something really bad's gonna happen to us? Or?
We don't know what we're going into. Doesn't that worry you? That there's an island in Letong that Theodosia McCrilly doesn't know anything about? That woman knows what breakfast you're going to have for the next 25 days.
I mean, anybody would know what kind of breakfast I'm having for the next 25 days. I eat the same thing every day.
You're right. That was a bad example. That one's on me. I apologize.
After everything we've been through, I'm not worried. I mean, worst comes to worst, we can run away, so...
Oh, we're definitely going to have to run away. You know that, right? We're going to find some information, but we're not going to be able to act on it. We're going to have to run away. It's an entire island of devil worshippers.
Well, they're
So
actually...
are we going to set the island on fire? Actually, that won't hurt them.
No. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. All I know is that I'm managing my expectation to we're going to find out some stuff, and then we're going to run away as quickly as humanly possible. No one's going to be a hero.
That sounds fine. I think if it's going to be like that, maybe you should do all the talking.
I can do that. That's fine. And I'll try not to drink so much.
Also, do not rush in when we are trying to sneak around. Unless if you...
That's fair. Yeah. No. My style is very loud and shock and awe. But I don't think that would work in this situation.
There's a time for shock, and there's a time for awe, but there's a time for silence to begin with. Do shock and awe before silence. That is irresponsible.
Well, I feel like you're feeding me to actually do the thing. But okay. I understand.
We have been lucky so far.
Yes, we have at that. Yes, we have.
But an entire island that is after us, luck only goes so far.
Yeah, we've survived at least one island that's been in that situation. But I have a feeling this is a whole new thing. Let's follow. Let's go with Ash. Get dropped off by his mates. I trust him. And more importantly, Lucius trusts him. He's a good judge of character. Let's hang with them. Make a plan to actually get in to the city. But what are we going to do in the city? We're looking for just pure information? Or are we going to take down notes of topography, of entry points, vulnerabilities?
I think we should do it all, as much as information that we need to return back and give.
Okay.
I mean, if we are actually going to take down the government by ourselves, then we need a totally different strategy.
Yeah, hearts and minds. We would need to meet up with a contact, go through that process, get it lined up for creating a revolution from grassroots, and see who's actually out there and who's just scared to actually raise up their head above the parapet, and see if we can get more people poking their head up there.
Indeed.
But I mean, in the meantime, information-wise, Lucius looking out for the military aspects, Pios looking out for the aspects for entry and exit into the city, into the major houses. Hendrix actually see whether or not he can work out what the merchant process is, find out who the actual point of contact is on the business side of things. Because if they're businesses, no business wants to work with a horde. There's no money in it. We can show them that their bottom line is going to be impacted. That gets us the trade sector. And I can take a look at the political aspects, see if we can work out who the bosses are, who is actually in charge, and how they actually relate to each other.
I agree. We can get as much information, and if there's any way we can slow them down, we can do that. And if not, information's good enough.
And if we split up, we can get a lot done inside one day, just with the view to actually come back to meet afterwards.
We will need a central meeting location.
Let's find a place that we can stay at. We'll talk to Ash's friends and see if they have maybe a safe house.
Indeed.
I don't think we should stay in a public house or a tavern. I think that if we do on this occasion, we're just lining ourselves up to... I mean, last night it could have just as easily been that the dwarf was paying them to actually come up to us.
They might know something, by the way. The dwarven hammer went missing, and the little creature, I do not know how it would be enabled to carry such a big weapon, but anything is possible.
I have no idea. Do I have any idea what that could be? A small creature that's incredibly strong that might take a hammer?
I mean, you can roll probably an Arcana check and see what you can think of.
Give them guidance.
Can I go with a history? They're both the same. They're both +4. But can I go with history working off of my dad's library?
Sure. That's fine.
19. Oh, with guidance, did you say? So 23.
So with 23, the hard thing that you have is the putting the strong with the small creature. However, thinking of the various connections you have here and the books that you've kind of read through, you do know that some people take as familiars small demonic creatures that can fly and go invisible. So it could be possible that one of these members was either allied with or himself was able to summon such a creature to support him or her.
And we're gone now. We've left that far behind.
Yeah, you're
Well out.
probably a bit out of
Okay.
shot of the town. I mean, like
I
you
relay
said,
the information to the rest of the group so that they're aware of it. And my eyes literally start darting around the actual wagon, looking for a pair of
gonna
eyes
pull out
completely
my compass.
standing up by themselves. So would you say, Lucius?
I'm gonna pull out the compass if we reach anything.
it is spinning and finds it tough to kind of find the strongest nearest source, but it starts to kind of point a little to the north and west.
I know there's nothing there, but I'm gonna grab some of that flour and throw it at that direction. And if somebody's in front of me, they're gonna get it.
Who throws flour at a person, Lucius? That's rude.
I was wrong. I thought maybe somebody was there, but it was just you.
How am I going to get rid of this? Literally doing mending as I say it and it's going away.
My bad.
I love that shrug of Lucius. It's like, what are you going to do? I'm not that sad about it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now,
The Carpenter starts kind of like walking back a little bit. You guys all right if I come back?
yes, sorry. That was a legendary piss. Must have been coming out of you like a thick yellow cable. Fantastic, mate.
Strangely uncomfortable talking about my urination with you, sir. But okay.
No, I mean, all right. Judgment, a little, but that's fine. Well, we could talk about my pee if you... No, you know what? I get it now. It does.
Nope.
I'm saying it out loud. I'm hearing it. Yeah.
All right. Well, still got a couple hours till we get to my job site, or a little bit longer if you guys are heading to the city. I'm happy to help. Probably get you in, but like I said, if you wanted an introduction, I could make that too.
Yeah, if you could introduce us to your friends who are not big fans of the current administration, that would be great.
All right. Sounds good. I gotta pass the job site on my way. If you guys don't mind, we can go and unload, and then
You need to unload
bring up-
all of this to these guys?
Well, might as well get it there, and then maybe move a little bit faster without the heavy load of wood back there. Get you guys up to.
Unloading if you like.
That'd be lovely. Yeah.
I'm going to help this guy. I'm going to do an act of creation. I'm going to create at the back of the cart a log slide so that it's got caterpillar tracks lined up on it, so that the planks can just be rolled straight to where he wants them to go from the actual cart, run down to carry it, drop it down to someone else.
Cool. Yeah. When you guys finally arrive, you are able to get to this house off a little bit north of the road. There is a fairly like strong pathway that goes up, and there's like a farmstead area, and there's a house that is currently kind of like framed out, but doesn't actually have the finishings, like that doesn't have the planks of wood that would give it the flooring and the walls and stuff like that. There's just like the heavy beams and stuff that have kind of laid out the basic structure of this farmhouse. There is a barn a little ways away from this, and kind of see a farmer who's out there doing some work, and as he sees Ash, he kind of waves to him. Ash will nod and wave, and it's like, if we could unload right here, then we can get going. For those of you resting on the wagon, feel free to take your long rest. If you were doing that, which I think is at least Hendrix, perhaps Bios as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I would try to take a long rest if at all possible.
Yeah, it would take you probably close to half a day to get to like this spot, which passes fairly uneventfully. You guys will see along the path as you travel this road. There's a few other wagons that are passing you going towards the logs. Couple of riders coming here and there. You don't encounter any issues. No one really pays you much attention, especially with you accompanying this wagon. And as you guys unload, since it seems like a break is needed, let's go ahead and take our break here, and then we will come back and We're going to take 15 minutes, so if you're in chat, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the new follow there. Cyan Pleasance Liddell, I think is the one. So thank you for joining us on that. Yeah, if you are enjoying this, check us out. We've got past episodes of this up until, I think, session 23 is now up on YouTube, working to catch up. And tell other people if you're interested. Find all of our stuff. And then we'll be back and we'll continue the story on.
If you are enjoying our content, please consider supporting us through Patreon. Patrons get access to videos early, as well as digital content easily imported into your own game or campaign. Every bit of support helps us grow as a channel. Do you enjoy watching a live game? Do you have Amazon Prime? Please consider subscribing using your Prime sub on twitch.tv/thexpguild. This is a free and easy way to support the channel. Finally, if you do enjoy this content and know others who might, tell your friends and family about the XP Guild.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet another XP Guild show. If you are enjoying this, please do us a favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next show goes live. Feel free to drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear your thoughts on the show, or anything else you want to talk about. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to our friends over at Hero Forge, a Skycastle LLC product. We are not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for great custom miniatures, check out HeroForge.com. They've been so kind to let us use their art, as many of the miniatures and artwork that we use come from their website with their permission. However, they have not reviewed our content, and so what we do does not necessarily represent their views or beliefs. Again, thank you to Hero Forge.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back, Watchers. Our party has exited the city of Loros, or town of Loros. City's way too generous. Making their way towards Kylinium. They stop at a farm where their guide, Ash, the carpenter here, is unloading the planks of wood with help from the party. Randall uses his bardic ability to create something to make kind of like a loading log run here, where he's able to like slide these logs down to Lucius and to whoever else is helping to quickly unload and stack the carpenter's load of lumber. Finishing that up, he kind of walks over for a minute to the farmer, and they chat off a little ways while you guys are hanging out there. And then, unless there's something you guys are aiming to do while he's off, he comes back and climbs on the cart. Well, if you guys are ready, we can make our way out.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Is the farmer cool with us?
Oh, yeah, he's fine. I was just telling him I'd be back in a little bit to get some work done. Yeah. He's a good friend, so he'll be fine with everything, you know.
What's his name?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yes.
Well, I better go make our introductions.
Well, I mean, if you want to. Otherwise, you can be off whenever you're ready.
Is Jordan... Do I get a sense from the size of the farm that this is landed gentry, or a peasant just getting by on his own land?
I'd say, like, based on the estate that he's got there, and probably, like, the cattle, the size of the home that Ash seems to be building for him, he's probably on the lower side of, like, landed gentry. Not, like, super well off, but he's earned a place. He's earned his citizenship and, you know, a piece of land that he's working on.
A successful businessman who's come up by himself. Okay. All right. I look at the others and I'm like, do we hang with this guy or do we go straight into town?
We're gonna go see his contact, aren't we? See if we can
Yeah.
sneak us in.
I thought the farmer was the contact. Oh, all right.
No. This is where we're just leaving the wood.
Okay, well, thank God. I was about to go up to that guy and be all like, hey, are you going to help us overthrow? You know, and that would have been... Whew. All right, let's go.
Ash settles into the driver's seat and kind of starts the wagon off. Without the lumber, it's able to travel a little bit faster. I mean, it's not like your breakneck speeds, but he doesn't head back towards the road. He kind of takes this dirt pathway that had gone off the road up to this farm and continues on a little bit further. And you see other little farms for a little bit of the ways, but then this path kind of heads up towards a forest, and it's almost like the road went through where these farms were, and then there's this other little less well-trodden path, but seems to have some spots where like carts have gone through. So there's like that row of like short grass that's got like 2 gouges of dirt made out of it, and it's all muddy in 2 little spots, and heads towards a forest. And getting closer and closer, you start to see peaks of small hills, kind of maybe mountain-esque, in the short distance away. And Ash leads you towards these hills. So, we're gonna go meet some friends of mine. They're not overly trusting, but if you're with me, they'll be fine. And I know what you guys did. It for sure got any doubts of what you guys, or at least where you stand in general, out of my head. But they prize our secrecy, and I probably don't need to say anything, but just if you guys can be very careful and, you know, not tell people about where they're located and anything you kind of see here. Yeah?
Yes.
And the last thing is that though I trust you, they won't necessarily trust in the opening. So if you don't mind, could we maybe blindfold all of you so that we can enter and they don't worry about you seeing how and where we entered?
I'll take a blindfold and tie it around my... but then I'm actually going to just start looking through the senses of Daisy flying above head.
Perfect, yep.
I blindfold myself and I speak into your mind, saying, you're looking through Daisy's eyes, right? I'm just checking.
I'm like, oh wow, this is like I'm in the mind of an owl, but in myself, and I'm receiving. Yes.
Yeah,
Trying
Lucius
not
will
to
let
say it
him.
out loud.
Sorry, what was that, Lucius?
He'll give him a look, but he'll let him blindfold him.
Okay. Yeah, for anyone who didn't have some sort of appropriate strip of cloth, he kind of pulls out several like bandanas sort of things, or like probably work cloths that he uses for various things, and like hands them out or ties them
like
around.
chloroform.
Yeah, just, you know, don't worry about what I do in my spare time. Yeah, and so through Daisy's eyes, we see this cart make its way into the forest and down. Kind of meanders a little bit through. Everyone in the cart is going to feel it kind of getting rougher and bumpier as it makes the path through this area that isn't as well trodden. He comes up near the walls of this like rock face in this one little area here, and Daisy sees like a sheer cliff kind of area, but it's almost has like an alcove in the rock where it kind of most of it's uniformly in one direction, and that kind of like eases in a little bit as just wear and tear, erosion, and there's little boulders and rocks strewn across where perhaps this had fallen in. Bits of the cliff had crumbled. The carpenter gets down and starts like reaching his hand out to help people and says, if you guys can climb off, I'll show you in.
I'll take a step down.
Guiding you each, he'll kind of basically like take one person's shoulder and says, perhaps you guys should put a hand on the shoulder of someone ahead of you and I'll guide that one in.
I mean, one, we're blindfolded, so we don't know which one we can actually aim for. And two, I don't know if you've noticed the height disparity in our group, but unless I'm lucky enough to find Pios, I'm going to be snatching either at someone's butt or balls. And honestly, mate, like, I know these guys, you know, if they were strangers.
Right. No. Fair enough. Sorry, I don't really do this part of the things too often. More minor role with the whole group. Here, and he ends up taking out a rope and he hands it to whoever's in the front of the pack, and then just kind of like works it down to the point where you each have a piece of this rope. Yeah. And he starts like tugging on the front of the rope, just leading the group. And you guys are able to follow this. So Daisy, looking up from her kind of perch where she lands in the trees to keep an eye on what's going on, and Hendrix, looking through Daisy's eyes, sees this carpenter leading, like holding onto one end of the rope, leading you guys towards this cliff face. And then he disappears into the cliff. And then the Pios disappears into the cliff. And then slowly each of you will disappear through what, to an original, like, to the outside view of Daisy, looks like a solid cliff face. He just kind of like walks right in and disappears, and as does everyone else.
Oh, where are we? This feels different.
We're almost to a spot where I can take off the blindfolds. Just a little ways up here, the guards will be gathered, and then we can take them off.
Okay. I don't like being blindfolded. I can't see a thing at the moment.
I'm sorry about that. It is just, I gotta be careful, you know? It's not just my life.
Hopefully they clock on that I'm not using Daisy anymore.
Yeah.
Daisy didn't fly swooping in to land on your shoulder.
I'm not going to fly her into what she perceives as a stone wall.
Yeah, no, that'd be cray-cray, for sure.
I'm going to remember every crack and cranny and feel of the surrounding areas, if at all possible.
You can give me a survival roll.
Okay.
Straight roll, because you are blindfolded. So that would have incurred
even
some
with
disadvantage.
my special
Well, that's why it's a
ability.
straight roll and not a disadvantage.
15?
Okay, not too bad.
Rolled low.
You're getting a general sense. It's tough. You're on the back, like you're walking through this area with your badger next to you, without one of your major senses. But you probably could figure out your way based on the amount of turns and the angles of it if you were to have to make your way up quickly. Finally, he stops. You can feel the tug on the rope stop, and then he kind of comes over and says, all right, guys, we can take off the blindfolds now. And yeah.
Take my blindfold off, look about.
What you see is you are currently in a cave. There are some torches that are burning, set into like little dug in or chiseled out portions on the wall of this little cave structure area. This particular point, you see it's a little bit open more open. It's probably like a 20 by 20 space, and there seems to be 2 other cave like pathways dug into the rock, leading out in different directions. But here there is like some padding on the ground. There's like a crate that has like various little things on there. Like currently there's a set of playing cards on the crate. Seems like in the middle of a game, and there were 2 individuals in there. One is a dwarf, probably on the younger side of dwarves as far as dwarves go. Obviously still an adult and a warrior of some sort. He's clad in like studded leather armor, and he's carrying like 2 throwing axes, and he's kind of putting them away as he spots Ash and walks over. With him is a human male who's kind of got his head shaved down to just like this strip of hair, like dark hair down the middle that's grown. Not like super long, but long enough that it's pulled back into like a tiny little ponytail behind. And he's got a little bit heavier armor. And he's carrying a like halberd. At least he's holding on with one arm and kind of resting it on the ground, and kind of glancing and looking over everyone. The dwarf walks over. Ash, what the hell are you thinking? What are you doing bringing them here? Ash will kind of pause for a moment, gathering himself. Sorry. This group, they dealt with some Hydra members, one of the colored ones, actually, back camp. I thought they should meet Gandon, and maybe he can help them, get them situated. And they were heading into Kylinium. I didn't want them to go in without perhaps some support, some information. They're obviously not friends of those that we've seen, these colored ones. So, aye, that's fine. I get you. You trust them? You say they killed the colored one? Well, for that, I guess they earned something. I'll take him to Gandon. You probably have other things to do, Ash. Ash kind of like looks over at you guys. I could come with you if you like and make sure, or if you want, you can go with our friend here to see the dwarf. Well, to see Gandon.
I'll look around at the others quickly. You've done more than enough for us. You've led us here. You've got us in touch with these people. I appreciate the help. And
taken up enough of your time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And you
we'll just take our payment for bodyguards, and we'll say goodbye.
Yeah.
Aye. Yes. Either way.
That sounds free.
All right. Well, if you ever need anything, you know generally where to find me.
I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate what you did. He'll kind of pat you on the shoulder, Hendrix, but then he'll kind of scurry off back down the way that you guys were let in. All righty then, boys. Yeah, old boys. All right. I'm gonna go take you to see Gandon.
Who's this Gandon?
He's our local leader.
Your leader or the leader of the town?
He's my leader. Like, he runs our little group. At least this section of this little group.
This section of this. That's interesting. There are many sections.
Did you say that, or?
Yeah.
Well, we'll let Gandon do more explaining of it, but, there's many like-minded fellows.
He's not a demon, right?
Are you checking?
I'm just asking.
Are you asking him if this Gandon is a demon?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of. I mean, there are demons that roam around, but they're very obvious that they're demons. This dwarf is like leading him off. He takes the left hand passageway that kind of heads more towards the west, and this path then eventually reaches a point where there's another cave pathway, and he takes this tunnel to the right again, heading back generally north for those with really good directional sense. But it starts to kind of dip down a little bit, kind of lowering in elevation slowly as it goes down, and then eventually will kind of start to spiral as it makes its way down in a very slow turning spirally path. He will take a few more turns, a left, but then another right, and eventually you start to hear the sounds of like individuals talking, kind of reverberating off this cavernous pathways, these underground tunnel systems, and eventually he will step into a fairly well lit area. You'll see it at a distance as you make your path up, and you'll see that there are like little tent type structures set up, like poles that have been driven into the ground, chiseled away at the rock to like support these holes to make almost like little yurts underneath the ground here.
This little gazebo.
Yeah, just little spots here and there. There's probably about a dozen of these like tent type structures that various individuals seem to be like moving around at. In the middle of this kind of general area, there's currently a like dormant fire pit. Like, there's nothing going on in there right now. And there's, if you look up, well, I guess mall-like area where there seems to be some sort of shaft that has either formed or been formed to kind of dissipate this smoke from this area out. It's blackened and covered with soot and ash, and just a little bit further on from that, on the other side of the fire pit area from you guys, there's a decent size, like 12-foot long table that is there. It's nothing fancy, kind of rough wood, simple, kind of like X-frame as to it there, giving it enough stability there. And sitting at the head of it, you can spot a dwarf. He's on the older side as far as you guys can tell. He's a little bit wrinkled and weathered face. He's got a patch that covers over his right eye. His beard and hair is gray, but there's like little streaks of black where it hasn't fully gone gray, showing his former hair color. And sitting kind of off to one side is a female, probably in her late 30s as best as you can judge, with pointy ears, probably not full elf to your surmising, especially with the time that you've spent with elf in close proximity for a while. She is got like short bob cut blonde hair, wearing like a studded leather armor, with a dark cloak kind of pulled over and tossed over her shoulders a little bit so that like you can see her armor and her kind of slim like lithe sort of frame to her. And they look over as this dwarf kind of clanks his way into this camp. A few of the other individuals look around at them, but they kind of leave him as he's leading you straight towards this table. The dwarf that's sitting down will look over and, Vic, who the hell did you bring to me? The dwarf that's with you responds, though. Sorry, Lord. Sorry, this group here, Ash brought in. He says they killed the colored one in the town, in Loros. I figure you might want to meet them, and he thought they could use meeting you. Gandon, the dwarf sitting at the table, will take a long moment, almost uncomfortably long, as he stares at each and every one of you. All right then. All right, come have a seat at my table.
Oh, that was surprisingly easy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll take a seat at the table with everybody else.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because we're all different sizes.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see, like, there's a bunch of chairs, and in general, it's made for more of the medium size, but you'll see that there are, like, blocks of wood that have been set around so that if people wanted to, like, basically have a booster for their chair, it does seem like there are options for that. And if you glance around this group of individuals in this kind of clearing, you do see that there are a couple of halflings and a gnome and just various. So there's a couple humans, half elf here, the dwarf obviously. So kind of a mixed bag of individuals.
How many are there?
At a quick glance, you probably spot about 10 kind of moving around this campsite area.
But there are offshoots, and it could go further in.
Yeah, even looking in this opening area, there's another tunnel that leads further out. But you've only spotted the one that came in and the one that leads out from here.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Then I guess we're just going to sit there and wait for him.
He takes further few moments to kind of look you guys over as you get settled in. All right, then. Why is it that Ash thinks you guys and I have something in common?
I'll put the collar on the table that we took off. Obviously, now, maybe a little covered in blood. And just be like, it seems to believe you don't like these collared people either.
Well, that is a sure way to give a calling card. I like it. I like your style. Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of them.
Neither are we.
If you got one, then, well, good on you. That's not always the easiest of feats.
Agreed. We seem to handle ourselves. I take like an awkward look at the others, like what they don't know won't hurt.
Yeah. Plus, we do handle ourselves. We've never lost, except a couple of times where we lost. We are here to help. I think our desire is mutual, that these collared ones and their allies need to be removed from this island.
Well, I can get behind that. That's kind of actually what we're generally aiming to do. I mean,
I see 10. How many are there? Because no one else in Letong has any idea what's happening on Helat.
I'm not fully surprised. I've been in here for, well, the mist came about 40 days ago or so. At least that's what it feels like. Maybe longer, maybe less. It's kind of weird. We don't get the sun. But yeah, I'd say probably about 40 days.
40 days ago.
40 days,
Does that
yeah.
track to anything that we have been up to?
I mean, you guys have been running around for maybe a couple of weeks.
So this is before us. Okay. And the mist. Is the mist going up off the island? And it goes up and up? Or is it just like a little?
It does a pretty good coating off the island. Like, when you guys flew in, you could maybe see little peaks of some of the mountains on this that weren't fully enveloped in the mist, but it was even like coming off the edges of the island and floating down, and you were able to kind of like join in a little bit before you reach the edge of the island.
Okay.
So it's a pretty fair spread of it from what you could tell.
So I have two trains of thought on that. Whether the mist is creating an environment for this to occur, or whether the mist is a form of transport for those things and brought them from somewhere else. But
we're not entirely sure what brought it all or what came of.
Yeah. And to be fair, it doesn't really matter. We just need to get rid of them, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, so just before that, our king here on the island seemed to take ill, or at least that was what was reported. His son, Prince Selvinus, made a large announcement in the capital city, Kylinium. It's actually just north of, well, it depends on how you get there, but from here you could get there in a couple hours of tunnel travel.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
He made an announcement in the city and said that the king was ill and he would be taking over the king's duties until he got better. So that's been, I don't know, about 50 days or so maybe since that happened. And then shortly after that, the mist started to appear, first in Kylinium, and then it kind of spread throughout the rest of the island, various areas. And the top of the our main mountain there, in the center of our island, there's a plateau, the Great Spire. It's kind of used to be used for kind of special events and displays to the whole island, you know, feast days and holidays and stuff. The mist seemed to kind of come off that and spread from there.
40 days for the mist that's spread throughout the entire island. How many collared ones are there? How have they taken over so completely? Or is there resistance fighting at all? Or is it just trying to tolerate them? Or has it... I'm asking a question, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, they're all things that we've thought of. We've tracked about 30, I think 34, actually, collared ones that we have spotted and tracked. There could be more, of course. We don't have eyes everywhere. The problem is that no one had any reason to doubt the prince. I mean, he'd always been a good man. And he glances over at the woman that's sitting at the table, who's so far been quiet, as he says that, and then kind of like glances back. You see, when you're a king, and the ones you're sworn to protect and sworn to fight for tell you that this is what's going on, you kind of go with it until you realize that something's really not right. So it wasn't obvious at first, but when the mist came, and then we started seeing these demon creatures, and, you know, more and more of the police started locking things down. Various of the lodges started to, you know, restrict people's movements, checking papers, doing things like that. We started to wonder and looking in more and having some members gather together from various places of influence. We started figuring out that something's not right. It's not him. I mean, the prince is wearing this collar, and some of his advisors are wearing collars, and no sign of the king. We've not seen anything. They haven't said he's dead or if anything in particular has happened. It's just been a kind of we're in the dark until it was too late, I think. Well, I mean, not ever too late. We're still working on it. We're gathering information, you know, small attacks when we can on, you know, small groups that we know are loyal, but we don't want to show our hand too much.
This is disturbing. They've taken over quite heavily in a month. And now they've gone to other islands.
You know, we don't know a lot. I mean, there was a ship that came in from the east, showed up with some professor, some squinty-eyed little pen pusher.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Was that to be about 2 months ago or so? Started talking with the prince, and yeah, I mean, soon enough, that guy had a collar on, and the prince had a collar on, and then there were others, of the like that had collars on.
Have you seen the things that control the collars?
I don't really know anything about the collars or how they work. If you guys had a better idea, then, we're always excited to hear more information.
Shall we share? I'll use message so that it's a whisper in their ear. Should we share? The more that know is always going to be better.
Can I get a read of these guys, to see how useful they are to us?
Sure. You can give me an insight check.
Ho! Natural 20.
Oh, shit, son.
That's 23.
23. Nice. Yeah, looking at them, you see that they're sturdy. This one in particular, as you're looking at, you can see that he has, emblazoned on parts of his armor. You can see, what looks like a creature of some sort, you'd probably indicate like a golem of some sort. So, and the way he kind of moves and handles himself, he certainly has the feel of a comfortable veteran of fighting of some sort. The woman that is sitting there at the table with him, though kind of on the younger side, probably older than most of you in human years, holds herself with a confidence and a surety that she's not too worried about, a couple of people here at the table. In general, though, it's not like they have top of the line gear laying around like the other members that are here. They all seem to kind of handle themselves or have some sort of competency to them. Okay. It's hard to tell their full fighting capacity, but some of these definitely look like they can handle themselves. And if nothing else, you do gather that there are locals that would have some idea of the things you're facing, if nothing else.
Also, is there any chance that off that nat 20, I get a read of whether everyone who is in that room with us is enthused to have us do something that could do this?
At least the two that you're talking with seem like they're full-fledged believers. It's hard to tell that of the rest, because most of the others aren't really trying to listen in. They're going about their things. Some people sharpening spears, some people are working on, cleaning armor, just doing their various tasks.
Sure. Okay. I look at the others and I'm like, I think we should see what we can get from them.
Not a bad idea.
Okay.
If you guys have any information on all this stuff, especially these damn collars, we know that they're linked somehow. The prince, we know, was a good, decent man, and then all of a sudden he's running this and allowing all this to happen. It really doesn't track. It's almost like he's someone else.
If he's wearing a collar, he is somebody else now.
Does not bode well. Do we know how to disturb it or to get him back?
It's more like killing the parasite.
Like a parasite. So it could be in there still, maybe?
If we remember correctly, the person has to die for the soul of the demon to take over, correct?
I don't know if you've fully figured that out.
At least that's what we think, right?
Yeah, I
think differently. That's why
I don't know if that's what Randall thinks. But sure.
So I know that if you guys remember back, it's been a little while, and Randall wasn't there for it. So when you were rescuing Karina, or during one of those visions of that, I think actually during one of the visions with Karina that you guys got, and Randy might have been there for the vision side of things, not for the transportation, but she witnessed the demon, kind of the head demon there, talking with a human, and the demon had said it was time, the fool has done it or whatever, and that person slit their throat and died there in the demonic world.
Okay, yeah. So the person killed theirself in a demonic world and then moved to the other collar. Yeah. So it's what I've thought is what I've been thinking. So they're linking their collars with a vessel and then killing their bodies to jump to the new vessels.
How are they getting the collars around the person in the first place?
Promising the same way the embassy man attended our home island with gifts.
Yeah, just bribing them.
Yeah, all right. I see it.
Think about it. This person turned up with a collar, entertained the prince. The prince put the collar on.
Yeah.
He said it was time.
Yeah.
You jumped to this person.
Yeah.
Then they started taking over this island.
Yep. All right. Do we actually know of a successful way to actually break the collar though, whilst it's still on the person?
Nope.
There's no other way.
It's old magic. We just haven't figured it out yet.
The best we could do is maybe get the son or the king or whoever back here subdued and then work on the collar.
I mean, respectfully, when it comes to magic, perhaps the three of you are not as qualified as this musician.
Out of context. This doesn't sound right.
Yes, but we know that context is key.
For sure. Well,
So
we've got this collar here.
I cast mending on it.
Okay. Yes,
Holding
mending.
Holding the pieces together, I cast mending on it.
I don't think the collar was ever broken. It was simply the head was removed from around it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is whole and intact. Well, in that case, I just cast mending on it.
Okay. You don't seem to notice any effects of casting mending up on this collar.
Okay.
I got a question for you, Dale. Is there anything I can roll to find out if like two beings can coexist in the same body, as if like a person put the collar on and then the demon jumped through, like both of them can be in there, or is it one person at a time?
Why don't you give me like a religion roll?
I'm definitely gonna use guidance on this.
If only we could read the mind of one of these people with a collar on.
Yeah, somebody had a potion.
Maybe you could hear a second voice inside the head.
Who was the person who had the collar on? It was the envoy, right?
Yeah. The guy that Misty stepped out.
You said history, right? What's it?
Well, I said religion.
Oh, religion, my bad.
Some might argue the same thing.
That's even worse. I gotta have that zero negative one.
6,000 years ago.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. You don't have enough like background information, or you're a fighter, not a thinker.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, either way, I don't know. So what can we do to help you, and maybe what could you do to help us?
Okay. You look like you have knowledge and resources. We need to know what their military capabilities are now and what they probably will be inside the next 90 days. We need to know who or what is in charge right now. I guess the prince over at the palace. So knowledge of that would be good. We need to know how many collared ones are out there and where their heaviest concentrations are and how those areas can be fortified against or held in certain zones. We need to know exit points, length of time to travel by airship between here and every other island in Leitong. We need to know how these collars work. Do you have anyone who is an expert with magical items working in your crew? I look at the others like, did I miss anything?
How many pockets of resistance do you guys have? Like, do you have multiple locations around the island that, if we needed to go to a different area, would help us out? Yeah, and mainly like I said, the routine of the prince, if we were needed to get a hold of him.
And lastly, do you have a safe house that we can operate from, which is accessible by tunnel, which is inside the city?
That's a lot to break down. All right.
And why are you not answering already?
You don't have
Backwards
a
order.
zip chart?
Yeah.
And you might have to remind me if I forget some of these that you had asked. We have safe places in all of our cities, and all of the major cities anyways. That's for sure. We've got people that have been looking and watching and following along as best we can. We recently lost our closer contact to the prince. Anyways, they had to extricate themselves from the situation. What else? Our personal group, well, we've got little cells here and there, but I mean, we're not looking at like hundreds of warriors or thousands of warriors that you probably need to take things by force. Probably all together, and it's, we don't all know everybody, just to keep it spread out. Probably about 200 or so of us, little groups here and there doing different things. Some of them, like Ash, who are kind of just more, information gatherers, people that can get into places and give us general ideas of what's happening.
I have a question for you. Do you have anybody who can read minds by any chance?
That's also part of probably our weakest side right now, is our magical abilities are kind of on the lower side. It doesn't appear that, well, several of the colored ones we know have exhibited some powers, some magical abilities, whether they're already were or they became them. We don't really have access to anyone of higher level. We've got a few low level, there's perhaps a low level wizard or something that can wield that in one of the cells, but not in mine. Let's see, their numbers and strength, I think was one of them. I mean, like I said, we tracked like 34 of these colored individuals. They seem to be in places of power that command forces. They seem to have the loyalty and support of those forces, and not 100% sure who would side with us versus them if it came down to it, but let's just go and say that they've got command of the city guard in the major cities along with the major lodges. You're probably looking about 4,000 or 5,000 men mustered without calling on militia.
Okay. Do we, just looking at the others, do we still have a contact we need to meet in town? In what was the town over to us to the west?
Kylinium.
Yeah.
Let me, just for the sake of making life easier.
Oh, it's like there was a fog lifted in my mind.
The magic of cloud removal.
We could probably get you in. Well, I know we could get you into any of the cities pretty easy. It seems like whoever's controlling, if you seem to think that these callers bring about a different personality, whoever it is who's got the prince doesn't remember these tunnels and passageways. So no one's really ventured in to look through them. So granted, if you don't know him, you'll probably just wander around for days, and the rest of us could pick you off or, vanish before he could find us.
I like the sound of that.
I think I want to try something out, and Lucius is going to put like his pouch in the table, and he's going to take his gauntlets off and everything, and he's just going to look at Hendrix, and I should have a potion in there of mind reading. If you can get that for me real quick, well, I'll take it. I need one of you guys to use it. And he's gonna grab that collar off the table and he's gonna slap it on.
Well, currently the collar is still locked shut. You had just eliminated the dwarf's head, so you can't
gonna try to open it, see if it opens.
Give me an Arcana check.
Meantime, what are you doing, Lucius?
19.
Looking at it, it doesn't appear to have like a latch or a button. Like as you kind of play around with it and you're looking it over, it seems like it needs something more than that. You probably surmise that there's some sort of spell or invocation to unlock it and open it up.
Yeah, definitely don't know that. So I think the only thing Lucius can think of is maybe cutting his finger a little and rubbing some blood on it and see if anything happens.
Yeah, you rub some blood on it and it just smears some blood across it. It doesn't seem to really change or alter due to that.
Oh, that's not going to work. Oh well.
Is that just your normal logic? If it doesn't work, rub blood on it.
No, this is the first time I've done that. I just figured, demonic blood.
You shouldn't be playing around with it anyway. What happens if you accidentally put it on?
Well, I was hoping that you guys can read my mind and see what the hell's going on in there. Well, I'm over here tied up wearing it.
That's...
You don't know how to get them off yet. That's a bit risky.
Yeah. It would just
that gives you a hard chance to have to get it, to find a way to get it off.
That's a selfish way of thinking.
Pius looks over at Randall.
Hi.
This is what I'm trying to say. And looks back over at Lucius.
Well, I mean, listen. We obviously need to be able to find out about this collar.
We do, but we do not need to be, what would you call it, dumbasses?
Yeah. I mean, Lucius, I appreciate the martyrdom, but maybe dying for the cause could wait maybe another day. Can I try and manipulate the collar in any way, see if anything will come up?
Yeah, if you want to roll an Arcana check.
Okay. Just gonna roll an Arcana check over here, you guys. No big deal. Just gonna...
If I can help in some way.
If only... It's fine. I understand. I know you would want to help me in some kind of way sometime.
What's that? What's that, Lucian? You said something about guidance.
What was that?
Yeah.
Huh? No? You know what? That's actually fair. I think Lucius...
No, I'll give you guidance.
Oh, right there. I mean,
you're not the one that called me a dumbass. That's all good.
That is a 16 plus a 2, an 18 there, boss.
Similarly, you just don't have a strong enough grasp on actually how the magic works, which seems to track.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
So, yeah, you gotta play with it a little bit. I mean, you see, it's a fairly standard, solid metal band, that seems anyways. I mean, there's a few different runes and things inscribed on it that definitely have arcane meanings, but can't piece it all together to figure out how to open it or to work it in any manner.
Well, I mean, can I use my Tides of Chaos to gain an advantage on this ability check and see if I could do better with it? Looking as I am rolling through the arcane elements around it.
I mean, yeah, if you would like to use your Tides of Chaos, see if inspiration flows.
Just to try it out. I don't think it's going to go anywhere myself, but I also feel like Randall will be like, no, I can do this. I'm a magic guy. 9. I am not a magic guy.
No.
Oh, well.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have people that know all that stuff. Well, yeah. Did I forget any of your questions? It's the little one shouted out a lot of things all at once.
Well, no, that's fine.
He does that a lot.
I do that a lot. That's true. But also, I will be able to talk with you later on when we leave. And I speak inside his mind and I go, so that might happen anytime.
I really wish you wouldn't. He says that part out loud.
That's what she said. Anyways, I look at the others and I'm like, we had that contact to go find.
Yeah.
And then we could be in the city and maybe something could develop from there. The way that they're so fast in taking over people is really scary. I'm worried about other spots. We should get a message to McCrilly and tell her to really stamp out any potential issues here.
She was doing that anyway, remember?
Yeah. I just wonder if she's being like, okay, so we got a bit of time, but we really don't. It's of the essence. All right.
Do you have any magical way of communicating with her?
Yeah, I start strumming my guitar, and whilst I'm singing Wicked Girl by Chris Isaac, I use sending.
25 words.
25 words. And I know you're going to count, so that's fine.
Oh, I will now.
Yeah. It'll be our official counter there, Billy.
Okay. So this is going to go to Theodosia.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Near contact. Have information important to stop mist clouds and the demons take over. Is that one word or two?
We do what?
That's fine.
Take over.
There's a hyphen.
VIPs. That's one word. Very quickly. Why did I put very there? That's so stupid. I got 4 left.
You're not ending it with that big rant about very then. And then it's just said.
Identify the
last 5
collar, please. There you go. Identify. I've got 2 left.
Yeah, you can sign your name if you wanted to.
Smashed it. Oh god, me doing Morse code would be just the worst.
And then she can reply up to 25 words.
She can.
If she knows what the hell you're going on about.
Which she does.
Yeah, of course.
This is a perfectly coherent sentence that I structured.
Randy, roll me a D100, please.
Oh, biscuits. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be D100. Yeah. Wait, what? We're automatically going. Okay, that's messed up. Okay, here we go.
Just ask for D100. Percentile dice.
Yeah. 91.
Okay. You feel a slight resistance as you cast this spell. However, it You feel it seems to have completed and reached its target, and a few moments later you hear back, Sagranis is working on it. Have you made contact? You should have arrived this morning.
And I relay that information to everyone else and then go, so I got this ring ascending where I can send out a spell ascending once a day. So I'm going to wait till midnight to come back to her on that one. Oh well.
Does seem time works a little bit different on this island.
Yeah, it seems like it's perpetually about 5:30 on a Thursday. It's weird. Very depressing.
So, what can I do for you?
We have a contact in the city we need to meet. If you can get us safely into the city. We have some of the Hydra Lodge's ID cards, if we're able to use these in some way, if needed.
Oh, I mean, we wouldn't be too opposed to having some of their information there. But as far as getting in and out of the city, I can got you covered on that.
Right.
Val here, and he gestures towards the woman who's kind of sat quietly the whole time. She can guide you into the city, get you situated. If you know who your contact is, maybe she can help you find them.
Probably best we don't share our contact's name, not until we meet them.
Fair enough. Can respect that. Either way, Val can get you in, get you a spot to perhaps lay low if you need it. Call your home for a little while, and then you can let her know what's going on, whether there's something we can do or something you need. We're going to continue out of business, sending out our patrols, figuring out more information, trying to get someone closer to the prince back again.
Talking about the prince, if anything happened and let's say we needed to get into the castle or wherever it's at, can you guys do that or no?
Well, I mean, we could get you into the city. As far as the castle, he takes a moment, drinks his ale. For the moment, our castle contacts have dried up. We're trying to get more people in, but they're cracking down pretty well there. But we could get you close anyways. Into the city, close to the palaces. Perhaps we can figure out ways as we get closer. But yeah.
That sounds good.
And you're going to take us to a place where we'll be able to keep for ourselves as a base of operations whilst we're here?
Yeah, well, I'm going to leave that one up to Val. She knows she's taken over Kylinium as that hub area for now, since their other duties have changed. And she'll get you situated in one of our safe houses. Honestly, it's a warehouse, but she'll get you set up there. Access.
Actually, it's kind of perfect.
I mean, it's not like, the best hotel I've ever been in, but I've certainly slept in worse places.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Ash has done some quick work there, put in a small little room with some bunk beds there. And it should be comfy enough. She can have you there in about 2 hours of travel.
Yeah, let's go to your safe house and then give us transportation so that we can make our way to our contact. Also, I'm going to give one of the little trinkets that Theodosia gave me, a small wax lamb, and say, can you take this and take it to a room which is large, 20 foot by 20 foot. Okay? Just leave it in the center of that room, please. And make sure nothing else goes in that room. I'm sure you've got a storeroom somewhere that would be able to use it.
Just out of curiosity, before I start ordering people to clear out random storerooms, what the fuck for?
You said that you have a dearth of magic. I'm trying to change that.
All right. I thought we were all secretive, but we can manage.
Thank you.
We've got we got a room that's opened up. We can clear it out fully and put that in there.
Nice.
Should I be locking it? Making sure
no.
nothing gets in or out?
No. Leave it unlocked. Make sure people know not to go in there, though. It would be advisable not to go in.
All right. Fair enough. Well, if you guys need something, we've got some breads right now. There's nothing much going on for food until later, but there's some bread if you need, some ale if you're thirsty, and other than that, we'll start getting work on our end, and Val here, she's always ready to go.
What's the best time to head in? Is it tunneled, or do we need to wait till night for cover? Like, should we go in the evening, or are we good to go, let's say, in the next hour?
Val, for the first time, will speak up. Well, then, in that manner speaking, we could go right now. It's, luckily our passageways go under almost every city here. With a little bit of work, we are able to put a tunnel in.
Okay, so we can get to the safe house at any time then. It's just time consuming.
I mean, it's the walk from here to there, but yeah. A couple of tunnels, a few switchbacks, just to make it harder for people to find us if they do get in.
Yeah.
I'll look at the others. And do we want to get to the warehouse now?
I think
for the evening.
Theodosia sound kind of pissed that we had not made contact with the contact like this morning.
Then again, if time moves different here, and I can't remember which way it was, faster out there or faster in here.
I'm trying to work it out, because honestly, if 50 days here is only 10 days out there, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage within here. But if it's the other way round, it behooves them to get away from this space.
Yeah. And is the time distortion because of this mist?
I'm starting to think, yeah, for sure. I mean, from the way that when we entered, now that was a whole issue.
And thinking back, would I make the connection from when I was actually down on that world that time moved slower?
So yeah, as you think back, the various things between what Karina had said about her experience and length of time that she had been down there, and all of these little bits you're putting together, it seems that, at least in the world below, time moved probably about 10 times faster than it does in the normal world, in these floating islands, for whichever reason or whichever direction. Now, if you track back, it feels that as far as the time that Professor Crow could have gotten here, settled in here, 50 days seems far too long ago, because you guys saw him probably, 3 weeks ago, if that, or so. So, the timetables don't quite seem to wrap in your head, so it does appear that something's sped up as far as that goes.
It does seem like time is moving faster for us on this island. By how much, I don't know.
You're saying that time's going quicker here than where you guys are from?
Yeah.
So, 45 days ago, there was a funeral for a senator in the capital. Some games, all those things.
That wasn't 45 days ago. We just came from that island. Well,
yeah. 2 days ago. Maybe a week ago.
That was about a week ago.
Fucking week.
It's probably that mist.
Something's
taking
through.
all our jobs. Sorry.
I mean, something's weird then. Yeah, I mean, because we were there. I was there. I was representing one of our senators. I was protecting him. We got back here, and then all this craziness happened. And the mist came, and I've been slogging through this. Not that I mind being sunless and all being a dwarf, but still, I could always take pleasure. I could go out and gets the full warmth of the sun. Now we get this diffused crap through all this mist.
You were a bodyguard for one of the senators at the games?
Yeah, one of our senators. I mean, they were not much fun for actually going to games and seeing the fights, but, these are all political events where we kind of gather up together and all the senators talk and make some plans and do whatever. So yeah, I was with our senator.
And I imagine that your senator would have spoken with senators from other islands, yes?
Oh, I'm sure they probably did, yeah.
And were gifts exchanged?
Oh, I mean, the standard things, bottles of wine, some of the various spirits, some foods, nothing crazy.
Okay. No statue of a demon god, just wondering. It could have been convenient.
Oh, I didn't see nothing like that, no.
Okay. Just,
I mean,
I read a lot of books, what can I say? Okay.
I mean, fair enough. I guess a lot of people like to read. I'm more of a tactical manual sort of guy myself, but I get it. No, I inspected most of the gifts, most of the things, just to make sure everything was safe. I didn't detect any poisons or anything like that, and didn't really find anything major, anything big like that, books or collars or mirrors or anything. Did you think something there could have perhaps turned everybody here?
I think an event where all the senators from all the different islands coming together and being in a room, and then going back to their places to do their jobs. If I was going to be the kind of thing that gains power by controlling those in power, that event would be a huge, important event to go to.
I see that. Yes, that could be bad. Like I said, it's hard to tell where everything came from or how. But from what we've gathered, that professor was already here when we left for that. But it wasn't shortly after we got back. The prince started acting funny and making various things, whether it was something from there or something from this professor guy. I don't know.
No. Yeah. Okay. What's the name of our contact?
Fernan, I believe. Let me just pull it back up. Ferdan.
I asked the guy if he knows somebody called Ferdinand. Do you know Ferdinand?
Do I? Not really. He'll glance over at Val. Did you say Ferdinand, the firm hog? He works down in the harbor master office. He's the assistant harbor master. He oversees much of the work that happens in Kylinium docks.
Oh, that might be useful.
Is he involved in some bad way?
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
I said, is he involved in some way?
No, I was asked to look in on him from the previous town. I have a favor to fulfill. It's not actually anything to do with what we're here for, but you know how it is. When you help one person, you want to help everybody.
No, I'm not really afflicted with such issues, but sure, no problem.
Says the guy running an underground rebel alliance. Okay.
Well, this is Val. Who's...
well, yeah, fair. Okay.
My accent shifts aren't quite good enough to...
I mean, Val's also in that same boat, though. Like, the role they're playing. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I got so strident. As I'm like, no, but listen, I'm Team Val. This is the hill I will die on. Okay.
Well, are you guys ready?
Yeah, we need to go to the safe house and then we'll head to see my friend. We'll go from there.
All right. She gets up and just kind of starts walking down one of the hallways, the opposite direction you guys came from. But then it kind of she starts taking a few turns, and probably Pios out of anyone would be able to kind of tell that just based on the amount of turns that you guys have taken, that you're starting to head south, and probably like southwest. She takes you through several different corridors, taking some turns, a couple that switch back in different directions, that you see various other tunnels that rush out in other directions. And as you're going, you'll spot a couple places, and she'll even point out, like, just stick to this side of the cave for this portion here. And she'll, like, hug one of the walls, and as you're kind of looking, there's some spots that now that she mentioned something, you can see there are various traps that are set up through the various passageways that you guys are taking. Areas that are kind of designed to catch those who are not familiar with their layout and their setup, unaware. After about 2 hours of time, some of that's just due to the distance of the tunnel, some of it's due to the various directions and turns and caution she takes around some of the trapped areas. Even getting to one area where she takes like a plank and puts it across a chasm for everyone to walk across, and like we'll work our way across it, and then she'll kind of push it off into the chasm, and you'll see that like this plank is on, there's like ropes and tethers on one side of it, and so the side that you came from, she was able to like toss it down over this gaping area, and then she kind of pushes it off and it will fall and lay back down up against the other side of the cliff. She reaches this final point where this kind of tunnel area almost comes to an end, and she will touch a portion of a rock. There's like a loose or looser piece of rock that kind of pushes in, and this wall will kind of spring open, and as it opens you'll see a set of stone cut stairwell that spirals upwards, and she takes the lead, pulling out a key and unlocking it at the door and pushing it open, and you now catch a bit of the diffused sunlight from the external world as you're in a warehouse now that has these like large glass panes across the roof to kind of catch some of the natural light and give that to those who are working inside. However, there doesn't appear to be anyone currently doing anything. There are crates and stuff that are stacked up in various locations, and this room seems to be empty and devoid of any workers. She waits, holding the door open for you guys, and once you're all in, she'll shut it and lock it again with her key. Well, here we are, home sweet home. I've got a little room over here if you guys want to set up or set anything here. I'll have a key that you can use. It will access the front door and the room, but not the stairwell that goes back down. We try to limit the access there for obvious reasons.
If we wanted to get a hold of you?
I actually will be around. There's a room on the floor above. If you light a lantern in the window there, I'll be around as quickly as I can.
Okay.
And she leads you to there, like she said, the room above. She leads you over, and there's a stairwell that kind of like comes up and switches back to the second floor, and there's like a catwalk and a set of rooms there. The first door she'll point at as she's kind of walking over nearby. It's like, this is the room. If you need, put a lantern in this one. The second room over here is the one that they set up for guests. And she pulls out another key and unlocks that door and pushes it open, and it's just like a bare room with, there's 3 set of bunk beds in there, so there's 6 beds in there. But other than that, and the bedding that's on there, very simple and basic. There's nothing else in there. Holds out the key. This one will access the front door in this room. If you guys are coming and going. If you're gonna go see the dock master's assistant, whatever, assistant dock master, just exit here. If you take a right and the next right, it'll take you to the main road. Take that south and you'll reach the docks. You'll see the harbor master's office. It's the big gaudy one with the antiquated anchor blazoned on the outside of it, flying the old flag still above it, as is generally the custom. Only a few use this new debauchery of a flag. So look for the yellow flag, the sword pointing down with the tree growing behind it.
Okay. I take the key. Amazed that no one's going to stop me having the key.
She doesn't know anything.
My abilities to pick it if needs be. If you lock me out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, boys. I hope you guys manage. If you're here, I don't know why someone sent you to help us, but if you're here to help, I'm glad we have somebody. It's good to know that someone out there cares.
Hey, sure, Warden's got your back.
All right. Well, that's something. That is reassuring, at the very least. But if you don't mind, I do have some errands I might as well take care of while I'm here. Make yourself at home. There's not much here. In the room I pointed out earlier, there's a few kind of just travel rations if you get hungry. Otherwise, the city's yours. Just don't let too many people know you're not from around here. Everyone's suspicious of everyone.
Clothing-wise, muted colors or bright colors?
I mean, it's a fairly big city. It's kind of whatever suits your purpose. I'm more of a understated person, whereas you appear to be a little bit more of the flashy, and that's okay. It won't necessarily draw any extra attention.
Randall just like sputters and just walks away. Like he's been thoroughly put down. Just such an effective smackdown that the old. Oh, I can really see what you're trying to do there. That's so. So he's just like stomped off there, and he's gonna actually start setting up in the warehouse. It's a new day, right?
Going into the evening.
It's going into the evening. Okay. I'm just thinking in terms of my creation ability. Can't do another one yet. That's fine.
No. We can wait till midnight. You can use sending, or we can wait till after we've seen the contact, then do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Pios, do you want to do some night scouting and just see the lay of the land as super sneaky? If there's patrols that we need to avoid, so we're not just going out blind.
We can, indeed. That way
I
get
can
more information about
I can
this
send
place.
Daisy out while you're on the ground.
So you go high, I go low.
That's the way I like it.
Do we want to check out the sewer system?
You've got ground. If you want to check out the sewer system.
How big is this town anyway? I mean, is it like
This,
massive or?
I mean, you guys haven't exited here, but you would have known that this is a city. It is a decent-sized city. Yeah.
So several thousand people?
At least, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a bustling small metropolis, port city. This particular one is, if we jump over the nation map, is it loading for anyone yet?
I'm on 98%. You'll load before I do.
I'm on 98%. I'm going to refresh.
That's so weird.
98%. those watchers that are curious, we're using Foundry. So if you ever use Foundry, this is what may happen.
Well, yeah, and part of it, I'm sure, is that my internet connection is not quite as quick as it used to be, because you guys have to connect to my internet.
There it is.
All right, there we go. So if we look at the overall nation map, you'll see Hela is the bottom left, so the south westmost island, and Kylinium itself is the most southerly port. So it is a strange kind of like generally very safe city to be used as a port, and from your studies of the area, it's got kind of the most easily accessible harbor area here. There's a smaller city to the on the northern side called Marinas, which has a smaller port. It's just the way that it was structured, and the cliff faces wasn't as accessible to some of the large ships. And yeah, just in general, Kylinium's kind of grown up to be the bigger one, even though it's further away from everything else. It is a decent sized city, and is an area where they ship everything out. So
yeah,
various benefits of being in a big city too.
The pilots will definitely check out their sewer system, possibly trying to see if there's any secret entrances, hideouts, hidey holes, stuff that thieves guilds and other smugglers and whatnot would use as potential, possibilities for us to use even. So
you're going out into the city to see if you can spot these things, or are you actually climbing around in the sewers, or?
Well, at first, just doing a lay of the land on the ground, just checking out movement, guard movements, checking out, who comes in the city, who goes out of the city, stuff like that. Then if I have time, then I'd like to check below the city and do all that stuff I said previous. So.
Okay, I mean, as it was pointed out, that it is getting later in the day. The sun is starting to kind of go down at this point, so it just depends on how long you want to stay out, and how much time you guys want to invest.
I'd probably just send Daisy out for an hour, nothing crazy, just to get surrounding areas. If there's anything to note, is there torch lit patrols in the evening through the main street?
Okay, what's Randy and Lucius going to be up to while Hendrix and Pios are kind of out getting a lay of the land?
You want to go for a drink?
I'm not sure that's one of the best ideas. I guess it wouldn't hurt too bad. Why don't you keep that in mind, and as we're doing that, I'll take a look at see if I see any of these Hydra people. I mean, if they're military, I should be able to pick up some of their mannerisms and see if I can maybe blend in at some point and go into their command place or whatnot.
Okay. I just wanted to go and play a little music and have a little beer and just listen to the crowd. Try and get a vibe of the general populace inside the city.
Okay, just don't get too many people to notice you.
I think we're going to be dealing with very different crowds. Your military vibe is not going to go well with my flow, my bro. So I'll see you later. Bye. Deuces.
All right.
And just out of curiosity, what did you guys do with the collar? Is that still on your persons? Did you leave it with the dwarf?
I would have taken it from the table, but probably left it at the warehouse with our stuff.
Yeah. I'm pretty much divested of most of my stuff as well. I've got my Folkluk and Bandalore. I don't have my weapons with me. I've got a dagger. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still in the warehouse, so.
Then what Lucius is gonna do is that since he has the paper of that Hydra person that we killed, he's gonna just find out where their base is and kind of look around, but not get too close unless he has to.
All right, cool. With that, everyone is dispersing, kind of doing their own thing. Hendrix remaining behind to use Daisy to kind of get a lay of the city. Philo setting out to discover the thieves and the kind of darker elements of the city, I suppose. Randall to enjoy himself and perhaps see what he can find in the tavern as far as information and all that goes. And Lucius to go out and discover where this Hydra Lodge's base of operations is and more information about them. And I think with that is probably a good place to call it for tonight. And we will come back. Dave posts on all our socials when our games are going to be. Check out Tuesday. Dave, myself, and Jose will be playing in Dave's Obion Knights game. Oh, and Billy's in that one too. Jeez.
That's cool. That's
everyone.
fine.
Everyone but Randall.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't keep track of it all.
There's the rub. All the cool kids are hanging out tonight, you guys.
Tomorrow.
Old Randall's got to go to sleep because he's old Randall.
All by myself.
And with that, I think that's good. Thank you all. We love you all. Enjoy yourselves. And yeah, let's all level up. Not you guys. All the viewers level up.
Oh, what a tease. What a tease.
I'm pushing the outro button now, damn it.
Please.